We're very happy that we're going to announce the latest inductees into the 2018 International Hall of Fame and the International Equine Veterinarians Hall of Fame. 7 individuals will be honored for their exceptional careers in hoof-care during this ceremony. This includes farriers Gary Darlow, Alice Johnson, Danvers Child, Don Hobson, and Richard Becker, and Drs. Sue Stover and Robert Boswell will be added to the International Equine Veterinarian Hall of Fame. We'll go with our equine veterinarians first. Dr. Boswell, could you come up? A practicing veterinarian for more than 26 years, Robert Boswell is a 1985 graduate of the University of Florida's School of Veterinary Medicine, specializing in sport medicine, surgery, lameness, and advanced diagnostic imaging geared toward the high-performance equine athlete. He has published articles about lameness and show hunters, jumpers, as well as emergency conditions in show horses. Dr. Boswell has extensive knowledge of ultrasound, digital radiology, MRIs, laminitis, and cell therapies. He founded the Florida Association of Equine Practitioners, as well as the publication, The Practitioner. He has spoken regarding diagnostics and management of foot lameness conditions in the hunter and jumper, and pre-purchase examinations for polo and dressage horses. He is currently a member of faculty for the Laminitis Conference. And right now we'll play a video tribute to Dr. Boswell.
One of the things about Dr. Boswell, it's the long story of so many things that he has accomplished, and all of the things that he has contributed to, not only to the hoof care per se and the foot-related lameness, but also to the industry for the veterinary medicine. He's come a long way. He started in Florida for a long time, 1985, and then after he graduated, he started doing ambulatory practice. He joined a very well-known practice where he started as an associate, and then he became a practitioner as well. Not a practitioner, I should say, a partner from the practice. But I have always described Dr. Boswell kind of like the jack of all trades, because he can do it all. He can do everything. I recall talking many times with him, but he actually practiced to some extent as a surgeon. Obviously, he's not a board-certified surgeon, but there was a year when I was talking with him that he completed around 50 colic surgeries. So he's done everything. Not only that, when he's done a lot of relief, volunteer work. I recall when the Hurricane Andrew, Boswell actually went down to Miami and provided all his services and rescue for the industry, and he was actually accredited and recognized by the AVMA and the Florida Veterinary Medical Association as the Florida Finest Certificate, which it was from the governor at that stage. So he has done a lot, from your typical backyard horse to even the Olympic horses. He actually participated during the U.S. Olympics with the dressage team in Belgium. So again, it's not only the hoof care, but Boswell's done it all.
Let's welcome him to the Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. I appreciate it. It's quite an honor, and I prepared a little talk. I thought this was going to be sort of an evening dinner thing, but I'd like to share with you what I had prepared. I'm very humbled, first of all, to be up here, and I won't take up too much of your time. But a few weeks ago, I was finishing up my evening paperwork after calls, and my phone rang. It was an unrecognizable number from Wisconsin. To be honest, I hesitated. I'm sure you guys, if you don't recognize the number, I'm sure I'm not alone. But it's the season down in Florida now, and many times business arrives riding on an out-of-state number. So the caller introduced himself as Frank Lessiter with the American Farriers Journal, and confirmed he was speaking to Dr. Boswell, so I felt relieved that it wasn't going to be a Google AdWords solicitation call. he told me the purpose of his call, and which completely took me by surprise. I thought, okay, who's messing with me? I tried to think, whose voice is that I don't recognize? But he was serious, and as if suddenly awakened in the middle of a dream, still a little foggy, but not wanting to forget what was just said, I put my pen down and asked him to repeat himself. Now, I don't take selfies, but I'm sure if someone took a selfie of me at that time, well, then it wouldn't be a selfie, but if somebody took a picture, it would reveal the priceless expression. So first of all, I'd like to thank Frank Lessiter and the American Farriers Journal, who believe, as I do, in the need for continuing education, and who all work so hard year after year to make the International Hoof-Care Summit a reality. Thank you to the person or persons who for some reason felt me worthy of a nomination, and to the entire Hall of Fame membership for their votes of confidence. Thank you also to James Gilchrist over there, who's my wingman for this event, and who, along with many other farriers in the Wellington area, have taught me so much about the horse's foot, the art and the science of farriery, and filled in so many gaps that were left open after veterinary school. I wish to also introduce you to my wife, Lisa, who, where is Lisa? There she is over there in the corner. Thank you, Lisa, who we've been together now for 26 years, and I want to recognize her for all her help throughout those 26 years, and to her, I'm eternally grateful. And in the words of Winston Churchill, and I quote, "I consider my most brilliant achievement was my ability to be able to persuade my wife to marry me." Anyway, what an honor to be recognized by my peers. I'm so humbled to be included in this group of veterinarians, many of you whom I have admired and learned so much from over the past 32 years of practice. You said 26, but it's actually well over, I graduated in 1985. But even if I don't know you personally, many of you in this group have taught me so much, and I am very, very grateful to have had access to your knowledge and experience. Dr. Van Epps is going to be speaking, and I've learned a tremendous amount from him as well. Thank you again so much. And because I've looked up to all of you for so many years, I'm really having trouble thinking of myself worthy to be included as a guest here tonight. But now, standing before you, I realize that it's not so much about recognizing me tonight or today, but what you've done is to entrust me with the responsibility to help someone else, to be their teacher, even though it might be teaching them what not to do, nevertheless. So from today forward, I shall endeavor to help other colleagues as much as you have all helped me, and I assure you that I will do my best not to let you down. So in closing, I'd like to share this thought from a man named Ryan Holiday. And I think it's appropriate for everybody here because of what you're trying to do. You're trying to gain knowledge and be better at what you do. And I quote, we all have goals. We want to matter. We want to be important. We want to have the freedom and the power to pursue our creative work. We want respect from our peers and recognition for our accomplishments, not out of vanity or selfishness, but out of an earnest desire to fulfill our personal potential. And I thank you all.
Our other equine veterinarian who was inducted this year is Sue Stover. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it here this year. She is a professor of veterinary anatomy and director of the University of California at Davis's J.D. Wheat Veterinary Orthopedic Research Laboratory. Her research has substantially improved horse welfare, as evidenced by the industry-wide adoption of evidence-based recommendations to enhance racetrack surfaces, augmented training methods, and refined surgical treatments. Her work spotlights how fatal injuries develop in racehorses and has led to changes in the welfare of performance horses. She now devotes her time to equine orthopedic research with more than 200 research publications mentoring veterinary students, graduate students, and residents in research, and teaching anatomy, biomechanics, pathology to many, many other students. The American Veterinary Medical Association honored her this year with the Lifetime Excellence in Research Award. Although she isn't here, let's congratulate her and welcome her to the Hall of Fame. Next, we'll move to the farriers. And the Farrier Hall of Fame is housed at the Kentucky Derby Museum in Louisville, Kentucky. Maybe one day we'll find a home that'll take you in equine veterinarians. But our first inductee is Gary Darlow. And Gary unfortunately isn't here today, but following an apprenticeship with Dave Goldie in 1976, he spent 41 years competing and won all major competitions in the United Kingdom, earning 151 medals, 7 of which are gold. He has also trained 10 apprentices who now run successful businesses. Since retiring from competition in 2017, he has remained committed to passing his knowledge by leading clinics internationally, hosting clinics at his home forge to teach shoemaking, shoeing, toolmaking, and competition tips. He still enjoys judging competitions worldwide. And although Gary isn't here today, let's also congratulate him. Next, we'll welcome Alice Johnson to the Hall of Fame. And Alice, please come up. Known for her hard work, generosity, rigorous pursuit of knowledge, she was part of the foundational efforts of the AFA certification and the Northern California Classic. She served on the first Women Horseshoers of America team, traveling to Australia to compete. Johnson also filmed fellow Hall of Fame member Jay Sharp and Edward Martin at work, contributing to farrier knowledge by creating an archive of footage of their teaching. She has put on numerous clinics, events, and meetings single-handedly, and she does it all with total love for the trade. And now we'd like to play a tribute video to her.
I think her contributions have been so numerous and so groundbreaking, and she has done them with so much humility and non-self-aggrandizement that people may not be aware of all the things she has done. And I know it has to do with certification, it has to do with running clinics, organizing and managing clinics. She was the founder, one of the founders of the Northern California Classic over 35 years ago. She came into the industry when there were not a lot of women, and nothing deterred her. She just put her head down and went to work. She has always represented the farrier industry with her great work ethic, her diligence. She thinks paramount thoughts about education. She believes in education, clinics, teaching, lectures, PowerPoints, slow motion films. There's nothing that gets past her. She wants to know it all. And she incorporates that into her work. She embodies that in her personality. And she is always helpful to others. She's never turned anybody away who wanted help. Her forging skills are legendary. It isn't just the shoeing part, it's her forging. She was a founding member of Women Horseshoers of America, traveled all over the world with a team of other women and went into areas that had never seen women shoeing horses, and participated in clinics and competitions, always did well.
Oh, wow. I can't even talk. I have to say, this is really cool. So many of the people I am so glad those lights are bright and I can't see you people. Whew. So many of the people in my life that influenced me very heavily, they're already in the Hall of Fame. And they have affected us directly and indirectly. They have laid the groundwork that puts us here where we are today. And they are so awesome. To be included in that group is, like I said, can't talk, but their generosity is unwavering. I knew a long time ago I couldn't thank them directly. I couldn't give back to them what they gave to me. So I've always tried to pay it forward. As you can tell, this is not my comfort zone. And what I'm going to tell you is those people have kicked me in the butt and pushed me to be better, to care more, to learn more, to prove them wrong. Because, boy, the best people I ever learned from were the ones I disagreed with. You know, they made me think, they pushed me. And I just can't thank them enough. And I can't thank you enough. And I'm so excited for our industry, this family that we are. And I just want to say how grateful I am to receive this. And to tell you that the best thing you can do is to push outside your comfort zone. Because that's where you learn. Open your hearts, open your minds, do your best, and just do it. Even if you cry through the whole thing. So thank you very much.
Next, we'll welcome Don Hobson into the Hall of Fame. Don, please come up. Don is as dedicated as they come, known for a constant willingness to help others in the field by teaching young farriers, donating equipment to farrier schools, and sharing his knowledge with anyone who needs help. He left a legacy on the thoroughbred racetracks, where he had shod for more than 30 years, and remained a positive influence there even after his retirement. He went on to found Hawthorne Products, improving the lives and welfare of many horses through his company's products and his continuing passion for the whole horse. At this time, we're going to play a video tribute to Don.
I think unique with Don is the fact that as he was shoeing racehorses and seeing some of the diseases and the problems with the horse's feet, that he knew he could help by developing medications that would relieve or cure some of these infections and problems of the racehorse or the pleasure horse. So he and one of his brothers established the Hawthorne Products. And they started producing medications and things for horses. Don and I wanted to develop a packing material that would help horses heal from wounds and also different diseases of the hoof. And so we did develop the Sole Pack, and Gary C. Schultz, the veterinarian, was working with a fiber company that had tubular fibers, and we all got together and created the Sole Pack, which was patented because it was very unique in its day, and it really was the first packing besides Forstner. And the packing that the farriers were able to use the Sole Pack underneath any pads, and farriers found that when they did use the Sole Pack under a pad or full pad, when they took the shoes off at the end of the month or 6 or 8 weeks, that the hoof and the sole were very, very good and fine and in excellent shape. I think that as far as his accomplishments as shoeing, he did shoe a lot of very, very good racehorses in those days, but I think his real attribute is the development of products as he was shoeing to help horses and to cure bacterial and fungal infections, etc., which is unique in the farrier world because there's not too many people that have done anything like that.
Let's welcome Don.
Thank you. Well, this is kind of a surprise to me. Don't have a speech prepared, but I will tell you that my life has been strictly horses, and I've been in several different categories. I've been from the racing end as far as riding to quarter horses, thoroughbreds, then training and then shoeing, and now I'm in the easy part of it. So I've met a lot of wonderful people. There's a lot of, in the horse industry, like at the tracks, there's all kind of people. And a lot of them, you know, are very outstanding people. And the same in this marketing industry. You meet people from all over the world, and they all have the horse is what their main interest or focus is. So if I had to do it again, I'd follow the same footsteps. So anyway, my wife, Ellen, you might stand up, Ellen. She's kind of short. You might not see her. But anyway, she's helped me a lot in the marketing end of it. So anyway, it's a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate you giving me this honor. So thank you.
Next, we'll welcome Richard Becker into the Hall of Fame. Richard, please come up. After serving in the Army, Becker completed studies at the Wolverine Horseshoeing School and began shoeing horses full-time in 1973. In 1996, he was named Rookie of the Year at the World Championship Blacksmiths competition at the Calgary Stampede. A firm believer in continuing education, Richard participates in clinics and occasionally takes on apprentices to help fine-tune their skills as horseshoers, horsemen, and businessmen. He has participated in numerous clinics over the past 2 decades as a student and as a teacher throughout the United States, Brazil, and Canada. In 2005, he was awarded the Jim Lindsay Award for Outstanding Clinician, and in 2009, he was recognized by the AFA as an outstanding educator. He has a passion to share with what he's learned from a lifetime of shoeing horses in all aspects of the trade, from forging to trimming to keeping books and dealing with clients. His shop is always open for those who have a desire to learn. At this time, we'll play a video for Richard.
I wish I had met and got to know Richard Becker sooner. I've known him for only about 17 years. Joe Nichols introduced me to Dick as they were draft horse partners at that time, and it didn't take me long to figure out that he was an incredible farrier, teacher, and person. Dick was an examiner for the American Farriers Certification Program at the time I met him, and I was going through the process. Dick taught me forging skills, time management, and the education I needed to become a journeyman farrier, as he did with so many others, not only in his area, but all around Michigan and stretching out to different areas of the country. His teaching ability and encouragement is unconditional. There is no self-motive in his generosity. He has taught and shared so much with farrier industry, only to make the industry and the individuals better at what they do. Dick is always willing to assist and help anyone who is listening and eager to advance themselves. Not only has he promoted certification, but he has instructed many in forging and shoeing clinics and has judged multiple competitions sharing his knowledge. Dick has been a huge contributor, not only on a national level, but is very connected to our state association as well. He serves consistently on the board of directors for our Michigan Horseshoers Association. I've had the great benefit of working with Dick organizing our state annual contest and clinic for at least a dozen years or so. He's a true team player. He works hard for the benefit of others. He's an outstanding person, always pleasant, tons of fun, and he is so well liked by others. He has an outstanding wife, Andrea, who is such a great supporter. One of my greatest memories of them was celebrating the night Dick made the American Farriers team. He was 55 years old that year. Dick's strength, values, persistence, character, and heart is a model for all of us to follow. I am so proud to know him and to call him friend. You're the best, Dick. Congratulations on your induction. Not only do you deserve it, you've earned it.
Can you see me? Wow. I want to thank everyone. First person I'd like to thank is my loving wife. She's been behind me all these years. Stand up, Andrea. It takes a team effort to get here. None of us actually can jump on this journey and do it by ourselves. And there's so many people to thank. You can thank the American Farriers Association, all of its chapters, because there's continuous amount of clinics spread around. And I urge everybody to do that, to get involved. You have associations such as this right here, the Summit. This is awesome. I mean, everybody has their unique way of education, and this is it. And you have the WCB, they have their way, and you have all different ways. And I really encourage people to do that, because you cannot do this alone, and there's so many people to thank for me to get to this point. A lot of the people in the Hall of Fame, I've gone to clinics that they've done, the Bob Marshalls and the Shane Carters and the Craig Trinkas and that. And I want to thank all of them, because it's a team effort to get this far. My team members, when I was on the team, we were constantly harping on each other to improve. And that's what it's all about. And the horse, he's the #1 guy. He's the beneficiary of all this, not us, the horse. And I think we have to keep that in perspective. And this is a true honor to be elected in the Hall of Fame. And I thank those who nominated me as well. Thank you very much.
Don't forget. Next, we'll welcome Danvers Child into the Hall of Fame. Danvers, come on up. Danvers has been part of the industry since the 1970s. He is a clinician and mentor to many, always opening his home to farriers and improving their craft. A proponent of continuing education, Danvers conducts clinics and workshops throughout North America and serves as an AFA examiner. Danvers' roles as a spokesman for the AFA and former editor of the Professional Farrier gave him many opportunities to speak to the farrier community by producing and reviewing articles for equine publications and receiving numerous American Horse Publication Awards. He has served as official farrier for the Alltech FEI 2010 World Equestrian Games and the Rolex Kentucky 3-day event, in addition to providing services for the FEI's Kentucky reining event. All the while, he's maintained his home practice, Foxtail Forge and Farriery. And at this time, we'll play a video for Danvers.
He's always been a contributor. He's, I think, secretary of the AFA and on the board of directors, and he's been on the board of directors of the Indiana Farriers Association, and he certainly contributes to having little mini clinics for young farriers that are trying to get their certification, and he has been a supporter of certification for many years through lectures and actually being a tester, and he has certainly given him his time and his talents for many years. I think I first met him in the early 90s when I was getting back into it. He did an apprenticeship with Jim Lindsay in Arkansas. He was an editor of the AFA magazine for 3 or 4 years, and he certainly writes some articles and giving good information. And so it's been in many ways, through his talent, through his participation, his writings, I mean, it's been quite a bit. I know that he's still continuing to do that. I know that people are having trouble getting their shoe board or something. Periodically he has a clinic at his house. I think there's one in August where they come and they work and they get things right. That's all in his time. A couple of times when I've been sick or recovering from something, and he would just show up and get horses done. And that's indeed a friend. And he is a friend. And I've been pleased to have known him for many, many years.
Let's welcome him to the Hall of Fame.
Thanks, bud. Damn. My friend Gunnar Gatsky came in last year and kind of set a precedent, I think. He wanted to talk about something completely irrelevant. And so he talked about golden shoes. I thought I should probably talk about gravel shoes. So, little story, completely irrelevant. This kid calls me up 15, 20 years ago. He says, would you come and shoe my horse? I ask him all the normal questions, and turns out that he lives within less than a mile of one of my biggest accounts that I go to every Friday. So I said, sure. He says, by the way, do you have any gravel shoes? I'm not. What exactly do you mean? He says, well, my horse needs gravel shoes. I said, okay. Who told you that? He said, Dr. Chappell told me that. I said, oh, yeah, I've got a full inventory of gravel shoes. Yeah. So we set up the time. I went over there, for me to go over there. And I got off the phone. I immediately called Dr. Chappell and said, what the hell's a gravel shoe? She said, how should I know? You're the horseshoer. I said, well, I got this kid, calls me up. He says, you prescribed gravel shoes. She says, what? She said, oh, I told him that he had bought a horse that had borium on, and that was really more appropriate for concrete and asphalt. And he lived on a gravel road. So I said, cool. So I went over and put a set of normal 3/4 Fullard shoes on the horse and charged him $10 extra for gravel shoes. And it was a good deal. So anyway, we've got that out of the way. Let's talk about the honor that I'm here for. And indeed it is an honor. I am so humbled, and I promise to respect you for what you have forwarded here for all of my friends and colleagues, and I will respect my betters. Some of those are in the Hall of Fame. Some of them are never going to be in the Hall of Fame. There are so many people that have taught me so much, and they just go along quietly and do their job. And people like Jimmy Gore, Cecil Buffalo, Sonny Broadus, Tom Stovall. And I aspire to be that way. I aspire to be those people. And everyone has allowed me to ride their coattails. We all know that, what was it? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But we forget that what Oscar Wilde really said was that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, that mediocrity can pay to greatness. A lot of greatness, a lot of greatness. And I'm the mediocre guy that just follows along and imitates. And I've never invented a damn thing in this profession. But man, I have come up with so much from cheating and taking from others. And just people lay it out there and give it to you. And you sit back and you quietly say, that is so cool. And you take it. And ideally, you remember who you got it from and you pay honor to them. There are a couple of people here that I expect will end up on this stage at some point that I hope I had a little bit to do with. So, Patrick Spalding, Lori, us three. Love y'all.
To submit somebody for the 2019 Halls of Fame, please submit a 1 to 2 page letter for either hall, and those will be due by July 31st of this year. You can find further instructions on it in your program. And just a follow-up on the Horseshoeing Hall of Fame. All of the people who make the Hall of Fame have a shoe on display that's of their choosing. That's on display at the Kentucky Derby Museum in Louisville, Kentucky.